Scottish law student who was investigated for saying women have vaginas during an online seminar on transgender issues is suing her university for an alleged breach of the Equality Act. Lisa was investigated by Abertay University in Dundee after classmates complained that she made inappropriate comments during a seminar that could be construed as discriminatory. The university says it can't comment on the case. Well, let's talk about the issues around this. Why are statements like this considered offensive? I'm now joined by Lisa Keogh, the student suing Abertay University, and Katie John Went, a trans person who is a diversity and inclusion facilitator. So let's start with you, Lisa. What exactly did you say and why did you say it?
So I said, I was asked to define a woman, so I did. I said a woman is someone that's born with a vagina and in most cases the ability to reproduce. I also argued that men have, obviously, they're stronger than women. They've got higher physical strength than women, which apparently was transphobic of me to say, because I'd said, obviously, Fallon Fox should not have been allowed to fight with a biological woman in the MMA fight. And I also stated that not all men were rapists, which, again, I stand by. Not all men are rapists.
And the reaction to that was that some of your classmates took what you were saying to be deliberately provocative or controversial or bullying?
So I don't know why they took offence to it. I think basically when I said that only women have, well, I didn't actually say only women have got vaginas. I said women have got vaginas. So when I said that, I think I sort of put a target on my back. And after I said that, they basically looked to take offence to everything that I said after that. I mean, I could have said the sky was blue and they would have somehow taken offence to that.
OK, Katie, let's go to you now. Do you understand why there might have been a bit of hullabaloo after what Lisa said in the classroom? Or do you think that this is sort of, completely getting overspun and that people are trying to whip up offence when there shouldn't be offence there to be taken?
I don't think people are necessarily trying to whip up offence, but I do believe that people will take offence, and far fewer people actually give offence than those who necessarily take offence. And one of the dilemmas is that we can be overly sensitive, I might argue. And I think one of the problems we have is we no longer regard universities as a safe space for discussion. They're just a safe space. So you can't even hold opinions that might be different. But actually to say that women have vaginas shouldn't be a controversial viewpoint. I mean, we can see that, the last couple of weeks, the number of politicians, 3 of them men, who were all asked, who has cervixes, and they were going, oh, I don't know, I can't answer that question because I'll get in trouble if I answer it. And we've created this ludicrous situation where we can't state facts and also we can't state opinions. And that is what I find worrying. It's less about giving and taking offence, because the biggest problem is the number of people who will choose to take offence. And there is a smaller number, as I say, though, who actually set out to be disrespectful or offensive. From what Lisa's saying, it doesn't sound like she set out to be that in any way, shape or form, but that people, found it offensive. And that's a different matter. And the university found in that same regard, I understand.
Lisa, have you ever experienced anything like that before at university? And did it surprise you when that happened and the sort of vitriol about the response to what you said?
So no, I'd never experienced anything like that at uni before. Generally, I'd kept my head down, got on with work. I didn't really socialise with anyone at university. So when we were doing the online discussions, obviously I took part in all discussions, but I was quite quiet at uni. So I'd never experienced anything like this. And I was absolutely surprised when they took offence to it. So obviously when I was asked to define a woman, I said, women have got vaginas. And they all started calling me transphobic. And I didn't know about any of this debate or anything at that point. So it was a Teams call. So what I did was I typed it in, what I said, I typed it so that they could see that I wasn't being transphobic. I was just stating fact. So again, I don't know why they took offence to it. It was not an offensive statement. And had I not been asked to define a woman, I would never have said it anyway.
And Katie, do you think this sort of extreme attitude towards finding so much stuff transphobic, especially when it comes to saying women have vaginas, which frankly they do. Well, I don't know. I would say that's my opinion, but I kind of think it's in biology textbooks as well. Do you think that this is becoming harmful now to the trans community? And rather than bring people together and people become accepting of each other, it's creating further divisions?
Yeah, it's totally taking further divisions. I only have to check out my own Facebook page in the last week because of the number of friends who have split ranks over the whole thing. And they're all mostly friends from the lesbian community and lesbian feminists, and half, one large group are saying, no, trans women are women, absolutely no question about it. And the others are saying, women and sex is a single sex characteristic protected and only women have vaginas. And these are actually mostly women arguing with women over the language that is used around it, because this is where it harms the trans community. It's because for many, many years, right up until I would probably say 2016, 17, most trans people just got on with life. Most trans people were accepted into female spaces where appropriate, and there wasn't a big issue. What we've created a dilemma with is the way we've chosen to suggest the improvement of the Gender Recognition Act and self-ID has created this massive new scare factor that someone will simply be able to say, I am a woman, and walk into a woman's space. And that is quite different from someone who, say, has been through 6 or 7 years of hell on the NHS and therapy and various things, and chosen very often sometimes as a last resort to transition to overcome gender dysphoria, a recognized psychiatric condition, and is generally speaking has been accepted. So I would say that you've probably got a minority of trans people who've become very gender critical themselves. I wouldn't call myself gender critical, but I would call myself critical of gender. And equally, a smaller group of trans on the other end of the spectrum who've become almost near absolutist trans activists, and a bulk of trans people in the middle who just want to say, please leave us alone. Please don't put us in the news every day. Please just let us live our lives. And we'll be quite happy probably to say, instead of like the trans women are women mantra, or only women have cervixes and vaginas, and ending up with these two either biology versus gender mantras, just to simply say trans people have human rights too. And many people who are caught up in this, and as Lisa was saying, almost, I didn't realize this was a big issue until I got caught into it. And then it becomes an issue. And then everyone makes you take a side. And it's that. And I hate the fact that there's now a litmus test of how woke or accepting or inclusive you are based on which side of the divide you take. And the worst place you can be is someone who's willing to listen to both sides. Someone who's willing to engage is the absolute no-no. And I therefore really struggle to see how this is going to change, how we're going to create a safe space for discussion. I would gladly sit down with Lisa and debate biology and gender till the cows come home, but I'm not going to get offended by it. So that's my choice, sir, and I think that is an issue.
It is indeed. Well, listen, it's wonderful to have you both on talking about this, and glad to put you two together as well.